Kolton Thomas Shearer was an 18-year-old athlete with a bright future ahead, a talented baseball player and engineering student. His life was cut short in a senseless act of violence in Middleburg, Florida. This story delves into the fateful night when a setup led to his tragic murder and the aftermath that followed.
Kolton Shearer had always been the kind of person who saw the best in people. A standout athlete with a bright future, he had just started building the next chapter of his life: college, baseball, and dreams of becoming an engineer. He was the kind of guy people naturally liked, trusting and easygoing. But that trust would prove to be his downfall. It started with a message innocent at first. Alexandra Schreffler reached out to him on social media, talking about a party that night at a house in Green Cove Springs. She made it sound like a casual get-together, something relaxed. Kolton, always up for meeting new people, saw no reason to say no. He had no idea that the invitation was anything but friendly. Schreffler wasn't just another girl from the area. She was playing a role in something much bigger. Behind the scenes, she had already marked Kolton as an easy target, someone they could lure in and rob without much trouble. The plan had been set for days, orchestrated by her and a group of men who had done this before: Jordan Coleman, Torian Johnson, and Ozell McNabb Jr. They were waiting, ready to strike. Kolton wasn't alone when he arrived that night. His friend, David Cody Levo, came along, expecting nothing more than a fun evening. The house was in a quiet neighborhood, nothing outwardly suspicious, but when they stepped inside, something felt off. The music was low, almost an afterthought, and the air in the room was heavy. Before either of them could react, the doors locked behind them. The relaxed, welcoming atmosphere turned tense. The men in the room, faces unfamiliar, closed in quickly. Words were exchanged at first: demands for money, for valuables. But Kolton wasn't the kind of guy to back down. He pushed back, confused and angry. That's when things escalated. Jordan Coleman, impatient and aggressive, lunged at Kolton, shoving him against the wall. A struggle broke out. Bodies colliding, fists flying. David tried to pull Kolton back, but it was already too late. The men had been waiting for a fight, and they were prepared. Then came the gun. A flash of metal, the deafening crack of a gunshot. Kolton staggered, clutching his stomach, eyes wide with shock. Blood soaked through his shirt as he collapsed to the floor. David barely had time to react before another shot rang out, this time hitting him in the leg. He screamed in pain, but he was still breathing. Kolton, however, was slipping away fast. Panic spread through the room. This wasn't what they had planned. They had wanted money, maybe a scuffle, but not this. Not murder. Alexandra stood frozen, the reality of what she had set in motion sinking in. Kolton gasped for air, the warmth of life fading from his body. His dreams, his future, all disappearing in a matter of minutes. By the time the men fled, leaving behind a scene of chaos and blood, Kolton was gone. The night had turned from a setup to a senseless tragedy. The call to 911 came too late. By the time emergency responders arrived, Kolton's body lay motionless on the floor, his once promising future reduced to nothing but crime scene photos and blood-stained evidence markers. David, wounded but alive, was rushed to the hospital, his leg injury severe but not fatal. But he would carry something much worse than the physical scar, the unbearable memory of watching his best friend die in front of him. News of Kolton's death spread like wildfire. His family, still in shock, couldn't comprehend how their son, their brother, had gone from a bright college student to a victim of cold-blooded murder. His parents were inconsolable, his father struggling to keep his voice steady as he faced reporters outside their home. His mother, her face pale and streaked with tears, clutched his baseball glove as if holding onto something tangible could bring him back. Investigators wasted no time piecing together what had happened. Alexandra Schreffler's digital footprint was undeniable. The messages, the invitations, the clear setup, it all pointed to her as the one who had lured Kolton into the trap. And the men involved? They had left behind more evidence than they realized. One by one, the suspects were arrested. Alexandra was taken in first, her face drained of color when detectives confronted her with the messages she had sent. She tried to play dumb at first, insisting she never meant for things to turn violent, but the evidence was overwhelming. Jordan Coleman, Turian Johnson, and Ozell McNabb Jr. were next. The moment they were brought in, the reality of what they had done started to sink in. Johnson, the one who had fired the fatal shot, refused to speak at first. McNabb tried to shift the blame, but it didn't matter. They were all responsible. The courtroom was packed the day the verdicts were read. Kolton's family sat in the front row, their faces a mix of grief and anger. Alexandra sat trembling, her once confident demeanor gone. The men, once arrogant and untouchable, looked small in their orange jumpsuits. Each received their sentence. Alexandra 15 years, Coleman 25 years, Johnson 30 years, McNabb 26 years. It was justice, but it wasn't enough. Nothing could bring Kolton back. Kolton's high school retired his baseball jersey, a silent tribute to the life that had been stolen. His teammates played their next game with his initials stitched onto their uniforms. Every time they stepped onto the field, they carried his memory with them. His parents turned their grief into purpose. They spoke at events, warning young people about the dangers of trust, the risks of deception. One bad choice, one wrong person, and everything can change, his mother said at a high school assembly. Tears welled in the eyes of students as they listened, realizing that Kolton's story could have been any of theirs. Years passed, but the wound remained fresh. Kolton Shearer should have been graduating, playing baseball, chasing his dreams. Instead, his story served as a painful lesson, a reminder of how quickly life can be stolen by greed and betrayal.
This is a really ugly interview.
I know. You want me to get you a cup of water, or is that good?
No,
you want a refill? All right, let me grab something. I'll be right back, okay?
It's cold in here.
You got a jacket or anything? Let me see if we got a blanket.
Okay.
Be right back.
Thank you. Don't leave me in here forever.
I'm coming.
Oh,
I can't find a blanket anywhere, sorry. I
it's
don't know if
okay.
somebody's used it.
I don't know much.
It's probably nasty anyway.
wrong.
I know you're witnessing this whole thing, but because we're talking to you in here, I'm just going to read you your rights, okay? And just go over this form. Doesn't mean you're in trouble. Doesn't mean you're going to jail. Anything like that. It's just something I want to make sure we do.
Okay. I'm not nervous about going to jail or any of that because I didn't do it. I mean, not even that. I didn't do anything to be uncooperative about, but I just, it's a lot, it's blurry. It's
But I mean, help us the best you can anyway.
Well, yeah, it's just confusing and blurry.
Well, I'm not trying to insult your intelligence or anything, but I'll explain this to you, okay? I know you finished high school, right? You have the right to talk to a lawyer and have him present with you while being questioned. If you cannot afford to hire a lawyer, won't be appointed representative before questioning if you wish. You can decide at any time to exercise these rights and not answer any questions or make any statements, okay?
Okay.
I understand all those right. You lived there a couple weeks.
I think I always put country, not county.
All right, so you live with a Jordan.
Mm-hmm.
What's Jordan's last name?
Coleman. But he wasn't here or any of that. I don't know where he's at, honestly.
Okay.
I think he's in a party in Middleburg, but then again...
How old's Jordan?
20.
Is this your boyfriend, or is this just a friend?
Jordan's just my friend. I got him babysitting around 5, and I walked home when he wasn't there.
You have a phone?
Mm-mm.
No? Just Celeste?
So.
Okay.
Yeah.
So y'all are communicating with everybody through Celeste's phone? Trying to get to these parties or whatever, seeing if you can get a ride?
Well, I mean, yes and no. It wasn't like that. We were just trying to find somebody to hang out with. We threw the party idea away at like 9 o'clock when he never came and got us.
Okay.
And we played Uno, smoked some cigarettes.
Played Uno, smoked cigarettes.
And then around my time's about to jump. Sorry,
That's
majorly. When I don't remember what time I hit Kolton up, but I messaged Kolton and I was like, hey, what's your number? And he sent me his number, and then I texted him and he was like, who is this? And I was like, LOL, do you send everybody your number? Like at this time of night? You just sent it to me. And he was like, just kidding, just making sure it's you. What are you doing? Where are you at? What do you want to do? I was like, I'm trying to hang out. What are you trying to do? He's like, are you home? I was like, yeah. He's like, is it your house? I was like, yeah, I have a roommate, but he's not here. Like, y'all are more than welcome to come. Who are you with? He never told me who he was with. He asked who I was with multiple times, and I told him. And then around... he stopped talking to me for a little while, and then it got later, and he had called Celeste's phone and was like, what's up? What's your address? Send it to me. So I sent him the address. It didn't work. He called me back, and he was like, I'm on 16. What's the address? The one you sent me, is it working? Is it county or country? I think, because I wrote it wrong.
Right, yeah.
And then he never put the address in his GPS. I guess he drove by my house. I was standing out inside the porch. He drove by my house a few times, stopped, backed up, did some weird stuff. I was like, what are you doing? I was like, I'm outside.
What does Kolton drive?
I think it's blue. A blue Chevy Silverado.
Is it
It's a dark, it's a dark color truck. I know what his truck looks like. I just don't know I don't remember what color.
What time do you think you sent a message or whatever, or started talking to Kolton? And what's Kolton's last name?
I don't know how to pronounce it. It starts with an S.
Okay.
I want to say no earlier than 1, no later than 2.
In the morning?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Between 1 and 2.
1 and 2?
Yeah. I don't have a phone, so it wasn't like I was looking at time and stuff
I got
like that.
you. Like I said, I'm not going to hold you to it exactly, but I'm just trying to get a general ballpark.
I know, I'm just trying to help as much as I can, and I don't want him, my friend just got shot, and I don't know who the fuck did it.
How old's Kolton?
He's in college, so under 21, I think.
Okay.
Honestly, I think he's under 21, but I think he might be 21 because he went to the gas station to get beer.
Did he? Okay.
Unless he was, I don't know who he was with.
Okay. So y'all's plan is he was going to go get beer and bring it back to your place?
That was never the plan. He drove by my house, and I was on the phone with him, and he backed up, and the phone died. I plugged it in the kitchen, and it started turning on immediately. I walked out to the road or whatever. And then I walked back to the house, I picked up the phone, and it was on, and I called him back, and I was like, where'd you go? I saw your taillights, I was out in the middle of the road. He's like, okay, stay in the middle of the road, I'm coming back. And I was like, well, where are you at? He's like, I'm at Kangaroo getting beer, it's 10 minutes till 10. It was 10 minutes till 2. That's when it happened. Yes. That's when it happened. Sorry, I'm trying to piece things together. He was like, we're at the gas station getting beer because it's 10 minutes till 2. And I was like, okay, that's fine. What are you trying to do? I'm trying to get dressed. What kind of clothes do I need to put on?
Right.
He's like, I don't know. I guess we'll figure it out when I get there. I was like, okay, well, Celeste is getting dressed. Do you want me to stand out on the road or do you want me to stand on the porch? Do you know where you're going? He's like, I don't care. And he hung up. And then I waited for 10, 15 minutes and I called him back. And then I was like, where are you at? He's like, on your road. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna go change. And he's like, okay. And then he pulled up into my driveway. I walked out and I was on the phone with him. I walked out the door. I kicked the door open because you have to kick it to open it. I was on the phone with him and he's like, I'm here. I was like, I know, I see you. And then he got out of his truck. He walked around the back. He started walking up to the porch. And only one person came from this way, and it looked like they started rumbling and fighting. No guns, no nothing. But I freaked out. I ran inside. I did not shut the door. I told Celeste to go back to the back bedroom. I don't know what the fuck's happening. She started screaming and crying, and she was scared because as soon as I said that, boom, a bullet went. And I was like, I dropped to the floor and I slid across, and I don't know if it came out of the kitchen or if it came out of the living room, but apparently there was a bullet that came through the mirror. So if there was...
At your house?
Yeah, I don't know if there was... I don't know how many gunshots there were because it happened so fast. Celeste said she heard 2 or 3, but I don't know how many I heard.
Okay. Well, okay, so he texts, or y'all are talking, he says it's 10 minutes till 2 because it's cut off for beer. He's trying to get some beer. And then you said it's about 10 minutes later, right, that he actually shows up at your house?
Yeah.
Okay. You're on the phone with him at this point. I mean, I just don't want to get all this mixed up. So he pulls up. Where does he pull up at your house?
In the driveway. He pulls up in the driveway.
Is he like right up? I mean, is there a parking area? Is it a paved driveway? I mean, I haven't been out.
Rocks.
It's just rocks. So did he just pull straight up to the house, just straight in?
Yeah,
Okay.
okay, alright, we're about to do a demonstration. This is the house.
Yep.
This is the porch. This is the driveway.
Okay.
There's a tree line. The driveway is about this wide.
Okay.
He pulled in. This is the house. This would be the back of the house over here.
Okay.
So this is the porch right here. There's a house part right here. He pulled in about right here to where his tailgate was like a body distance, honestly, from the bottom step.
Okay.
Like where the porch
So he
goes
pulls
down.
right up to the house.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Like, it wasn't like, he didn't like pull up to the front part of the house. It was more towards the back.
And you're on the phone with him. You walk outside.
Yeah, I was on the phone with them.
And now walk me through what you see when you come outside.
I kicked the front door open. I was on the phone with him, and I was like, hold on, I'm kicking the door open. He said, what? And he's like, I'm here. And I kicked it open, and I was like, I know, I see you. And then he got out of his truck. I don't know if he turned it off or not. I don't remember. He got out of his truck. He walked around the back part of the truck, and like, as soon as he like went to walk up on the stairs, someone came from this way. And then I know that I saw more than 6 people in my yard. I know for a fact. Maybe I was just freaking out and seeing shit. Excuse my language,
No, you're
but
fine. Cussing is not going to offend me.
Okay.
That's all you want.
well, I saw someone come running from this way. They were drugged and dressed.
Now, when you say this way, this bottle caps your house, and this is the front porch, right? Again, right? They came from this
way.
direction, like from
From like the road.
like the main road. 16.
Yeah, like from the road. Now, I don't know if they were in a car. I don't know if they were on foot. It makes no sense that somebody would sit at my house on their fucking feet.
What does that person look like
Who?
that ran up? Did you get a good look at him?
I don't know. I don't even know if he was black or white. I know.
Sure, it's a guy.
I don't even know if it was a guy. I mean, I don't think anybody would have. I don't think a female would have attacked a guy.
Now, when you mean attacked, how did that happen? How'd that pan out? Are y'all still on the phone, or have you hung up?
No, I hung up. Like as soon as I saw him walk around the turn, I was like, I
sitting
know,
on the
I
porch.
see you.
Okay.
No, I was standing.
You're standing on the porch, and he's walking up. Mm-hmm. And by the time he gets to the bottom step, you see someone run up.
Yeah, but we got off the phone. I hung up as soon as I said I see you,
Gotcha.
and he put his phone.
Okay, so he's just walking up. He gets to that bottom step, and when you mean somebody attacks him, help me understand. Are they tackling him? Are they? I mean, what?
Like it wasn't like somebody was robbing somebody. Like nobody like went up with no guns. I never saw a gun, not one gun. I only heard gunshots. It looked like somebody was mad at him. Like they knew him. Like I know you. I'm about to beat the fuck out of you, kind of thing. Like it didn't. I mean, I couldn't see Kolton's face or that person's face, but I mean the way it happened, like it looked like that was like somebody meant to do that.
Well, is Kolton having any drama right now? Like, well, I
haven't hung out with him. I know that.
Facebook?
I know that. No, I don't really dramatize on Facebook. Like
No, I mean,
use it
maybe
to
him.
communicate.
Does he? Have you seen anything on his page where people are threatening him?
This is the first time I saw him since February.
Okay. Did these people? And you said you saw numerous people.
Key thing. I stopped hanging out with Kolton because he sold cocaine.
Okay.
I don't want to be like a snitch or anything,
No,
but
you don't need to.
I stopped.
Here, let me tell you something about all that. Honestly, you're going to do Kolton a big favor if you're honest about what he does and everything that he's
I don't know
involved
if he
in.
wants people.
Well, I know, but here's the deal. Okay, he was shot tonight, right? Right?
I don't
Is that
know.
what you told me?
I don't know. I know what they have been telling me. I don't
Okay.
know. I don't know for sure that my friend was shot.
Okay. People were shot in that pickup truck. It very well could be Kolton. I'm sorry because I didn't make it out there before I turned around and had to come back out here, or I would know that for sure. So there's a good chance he was shot. I don't care what he does, okay? He could sell coke, he could do anything. It doesn't give anybody the right to shoot anybody, okay?
I completely agree.
You know what I'm saying? So that's why don't worry about that. If he sells cocaine, he sells cocaine. I mean, it's dangerous, obviously. He sells cocaine, but it ain't. I'm not going to go investigate him for it. The only
I know, but stuff like this happens with stuff like that. This is
It
why I don't
does.
hang out with people like this.
It does. What else does he sell?
I don't know. I know he hangs out with everybody in Middleburg that sells drugs.
Okay. Well,
That's why I stopped hanging out
Are we
with
talking
him.
heroin? Or?
Fuck no.
Okay.
I'm just talking about like little legit shit, like fucking cocaine and marijuana, some
Gotcha.
Xanax on the side,
Gotcha.
or some fucking
Gotcha.
dabs, or you know what I'm saying? Nothing like no crack or heroin.
Okay.
Do the people that he hang around with sell that stuff? Yeah. All of them do. They think it's funny to go downtown and sell crack to fucking strangers. They think it's hilarious. I don't think it's funny,
Right.
but they think it's hilarious.
Okay.
They do get into some deep shit. Do I go with them? I went with Joey one time, and that was honestly why I stopped hanging out with that crowd, because of Joey individually, and Kolton was just like a friend of his. And Kolton like hit me up on Facebook like 2 days ago, and I was in Middleburg and I was gonna hang out with him, but I didn't. And tonight I was bored and I was like, I'm not at my house. I'm not at somebody else's house. If you want to come over, come over. Like, I can
How long
invite you
have
to
you
my
known
house.
Kolton?
Last November,
Almost a year? A little less
almost a
than
year, yeah. Because I talked to Joey in like November, December, January, and February, and Kolton was his friend. So
Now be straight with me, okay? Because did he come over with weed or something? I mean, was he bringing dope over?
no, he wasn't bringing anything over. The only thing that I knew that he was bringing was the beer. The beer, that's
Is
it.
he known to have dope on him? And I'm not trying to say that he was...
That's what I'm like. I don't know. I don't know him. He could be completely different of who he was then. You know what I'm saying? Like, everybody changes.
When was the last time you hung out with him then?
February.
February? So,
I mean, he could still be slinging pounds of cocaine if that's what he wants to do. You know what I mean? But
you just don't know, okay.
I don't hit him up for like.
Well, because understand, it's just like you said, with his what he does, this kind of stuff does happen. All right, robberies and stuff like that. Even though you said it didn't seem like a robbery, but that's it, most likely when people take a chance of robbing somebody, especially.
But by my house, I don't even really.
I don't know. That we'll get to the bottom of it. We're gonna find out. But someone decided to specifically rob them at that point for some reason.
That's what I'm saying.
And that would lead me to believe maybe he was bringing over some marijuana or something. And some idiots were like, you know what? Let's get this.
I don't know. I don't think it was robbing. Like, Kolton didn't even say, "Hey, I have a gun in the truck." Like, nothing. Like, he didn't.
Okay. Well, let's go back. So anyway, so these guys come up. Do Kolton and this person start fighting immediately? Is there anything said to Kolton? What kind of helped me understand what's happening there?
I walked out the door. Well, I kicked the door open.
Right.
I said, "I see you." He walked around the thing. He was laughing. I said, "Celeste's putting on some shorts, and like, do you want to go or do you want to stay? What do you want to do?" And he's like, "I don't know." Boom.
Okay.
I didn't even see this person. Like, I really didn't even see this person until they were like on the ground right here. Like, until I saw someone on top of Kolton. Like, I thought it was like somebody got out of the other side of the truck and came up and was like playing with him.
How did Kolton get on the ground?
The person knocked him out.
Okay, punched him. I mean, came up and stuck
I mean,
him or
I
tackled him?
assume because
Somehow he
like, it didn't, like, what I'm saying is, like, when I was standing on the porch, it didn't look like what happened. And I don't know what happened after I went inside, but like, it didn't look like somebody was about to fucking get shot and people were, none of that was what it looked like. Mm-hmm. It literally just, like, at first I thought it was his friend. Like, I literally thought it was somebody that he, like, I thought he knew the person.
But you wouldn't run in if you thought it was his friend, right? You know what I mean?
I mean, I would run away from anybody that was sitting there fighting. Honestly,
Okay.
I'm just saying I'm a little bit of a scaredy cat. I didn't know that person.
Okay. So they start fighting on the ground. Are they saying anything? Do you remember anybody saying anything? Was there yelling? No? It was just quiet? All right. So run me through. He's on the ground. What do you do from that point?
I went inside,
Okay.
and within seconds, the first gunshot was made. That's the only one I heard.
Okay. You heard one gunshot, and that's when you said you hit the floor. You slid
I
back.
hit the floor between the refrigerator and the counter right here. Like, when you walk into the house, there's a little counter, a stove, a sink, a caddy counter, and a counter.
Okay. So it's
I walked in through the door, literally laid flat like this. The glass was in the kitchen floor. I thought somebody hit the window. Like, I thought somebody was shooting up my house. Like, I thought I was the person that was getting fucking shot up. Like, that's what I thought it was at first.
Right.
I thought the people that were coming up weren't for him, like, or like anything. Like, I thought like a million things in my head, like what was going on. And then when I hit the floor because there was gunshots, I thought that it was my house that they were hitting.
Okay.
So I yelled at Celeste and I told her to get
Where's
on the
she
floor. She was standing in the living room and I told her to get on the floor and go to the back bedroom, and she didn't get on the floor. She just ran straight to the back bedroom and she sat between stuff, and then I slid down past the living room, I got cut. I don't know.
It's okay. Take a minute. It's all right.
I know I heard a gunshot. I know that there's blood on the ground, but I only know one person involved.
Okay. You didn't know anybody. Did Kolton have friends with him?
He said he had a friend, and then in one message it said friends. Okay. And then I asked him to elaborate on that, and he didn't respond back. And when I asked him on the phone who he was with, he didn't answer me.
Okay.
So I don't know who he was with.
Okay.
I don't know who he was. I don't know who he was with, and I don't know who ran up. I only know him.
Did you see anybody get out of the truck and run up on him? I mean, because you said earlier you thought it was his friend, right?
I mean, the way it looked, it was just I don't know, maybe it just happened too fast. No, nobody else got out of the truck. The only other, like I said, when I opened the window, I saw...
What window are you looking out of?
The one that would be right in front of the triple three mirrors. The one... I could see the cab of his truck.
Window.
No.
It's a front window in the house.
Yes, I saw the cab of his truck. I saw the passenger side door open. I couldn't make faces. I don't know. I saw the driver shake his hair.
Do you know who the driver is? Was that Kolton?
I don't know if it was Kolton.
Okay.
Because I don't know who he was with.
Okay.
And then they didn't look harmed. And then they drove away. So I thought that maybe it was one of the bad guys that were on the ground.
Okay. Who's on the ground when you went out?
Nobody.
What do you mean then you thought it was one of the bad... Are you talking about...
There was a bunch of blood on the ground. I thought there was a person in the bushes. What do you mean? You have to look at the house. I'm sorry, it's confusing. On this whole side of this front house, there's nothing but weeds and shit.
Right.
Bunch of weeds, and there was a blood spot. You'll be able to see it. I promise you'll be able to see it. There was a big blood spot right there.
Okay, so you're freaking out at this point.
What do you mean I was freaking out when it started?
Oh, you know what I mean. So Kolton didn't tell you who he came up with. He just said one message. He said he had a friend. The other he said friends. He didn't answer you. Is there anybody that you live around that might do something like this? Somebody on your road?
I don't really talk to my neighbors.
But I'm just saying anybody you can think of, because this stuff doesn't happen in Clay. You know what I'm saying? This is like some Jacksonville crap, where people get shot up. You know what I'm saying? This doesn't happen every night out here. This is definitely different.
The neighbors across the street are church-going people. The ones to the right of us are goody two-shoes. Nana's a crazy bitch. The only other person I really know besides Tanner Woods and them that live on that road, but I don't think that they would.
Tanner Woods, why do I know that?
Because he's a fucking crackhead.
Does he drive a Cadillac? Or used to drive a Cadillac? Yeah, okay, I know Tanner. Hey, do you know a Brent Wolf?
No.
You don't know a Brent Wolf? That name doesn't ring a bell? No. Okay. So y'all are hiding in the back, and you say you see what looks like the headlights leaving, and then that's when y'all walk out. You see the blood.
She stayed in the bathroom. She did not walk out.
She didn't walk out.
She did not see any of it. She did not stand by the door. Nothing. She didn't know anything was going on until I said, "Celeste, get the fuck down! There's a gun." And she's like, "What?" And just ran.
Did Celeste know these guys at all?
No, she doesn't know Kolton. No, she doesn't even know Kolton. She's literally just my friend.
Is there a chance
that they're gonna go after us?
No. Is there a chance Michael?
Oh, fuck no. Fuck.
Hear me out. Because he's like a friend, a real good friend of Celeste, right?
I mean, no.
This couldn't be like a jealousy thing. He sees a truck pull up.
He can't leave his house past 10.
Is he on what? Is he on probation?
Yeah.
But that don't mean nothing.
Oh, it does matter to his dad.
Does it?
Yes, his dad is not. Michael's 17. 17? Yeah, no. Home dog didn't pull out a gun and rob a bunch of people or kill a bunch of people at my house. I can tell you that for sure.
What have you been told by police? Because you keep saying robbing and all that. Were they robbed?
He said somebody was robbed and killed.
Who did?
That person or whatever. That guy. When Celeste got back in the car, she said that the officer said that somebody had been killed, and the whole way here we were trying to ask that officer, was it a robbery? Did somebody die? Why were they there? And he was just nonchalantly answering half of the questions, he wasn't giving us anything. Okay. So I'm kind of just trying to put it together.
Now he may not know, to be honest.
Well, I understand that he may not know, and I was trying to push questions out of him that he may not have known because I'm trying to make sense of it in my head. Mm-hmm. But Why else would somebody come to my house and do this?
That's what we're
Why
trying to figure
else?
out.
Like, why the fuck would somebody come with a gun to my house? Like, I don't even know how to turn the safety off of a gun.
Why does Kolton have a gun? Is it because he's
I don't know if Kolton has a gun or not.
Oh, I thought you said he did.
Well, I heard more than one gun bullet. Do you think that he didn't have a gun? I feel like if I sold cocaine, I'd have a gun. You?
Well, I know, but I'm
saying,
trying
like,
to find definite.
I'm
Like,
not-
do you know if he had?
No, I don't know that Kolton had a gun. I don't know whose gun it was. I don't know who shot the fire, but I mean, I'm assuming that it wasn't, Kolton didn't shoot himself if he was really shot, and I don't
Right.
think anybody else would shoot themselves.
Okay.
I mean, I know just about as much as you guys know, except for I knew the driver.
Okay.
And y'all don't.
Let me ask you this, because it'll help me out tremendously with the Facebook messages. If I brought my laptop in here and I just let you log on your Facebook and you bring up those messages, would you mind just showing me?
I mean, yeah, I can.
I ain't gonna go through your whole Facebook. I don't care. Listen, I know you smoke weed. I know you like to party. I don't care. It's no big deal. Okay?
I mean,
just want
but
to get that out
but
there.
I don't. I just hang around people that do.
But listen, it don't
But
matter.
who you hang around is who you
right.
are. I
But it
understand.
doesn't even matter. I'm not here to judge you. I'm literally just trying to figure out who shot up these people in your yard. Period. I don't care what's on your Facebook. I don't care what's on y'all's phone. That's the only thing I care about is figure out who pulled that trigger. Okay? So if I bring my laptop in here, will you show me the messages and everything like that? All right, give me just a minute.
The only messages on my laptop though are hey, what are you doing? Send me your number. He sent me his number and I called him.
That's fine. But Celeste's phone is down there, right? Is that?
They were phone calls.
I know, but Celeste's phone is at the house. Is at your house?
Yeah, but I don't think she wants people coming through.
Well, but here's the deal. You heard somebody got killed? I mean, if someone got killed, we're dealing with a homicide. Okay, we're not. So if we can't worry about that kind of stuff. I mean, how do
I feel that.
You know what I'm saying?
I feel what she's coming.
I do.
You know what I'm saying?
How about this? I go knock on somebody's door.
I mean, I don't want them going through my Facebook and stuff either.
Listen, but how about this? Let's just say your mom. I come to the door and I say, hey, your son, your daughter, whatever's
But
killed.
what you're telling me though is like everything else in my Facebook messages will be irrelevant, right? Except
Yeah,
for Kolton's.
That's all I'm looking for.
Okay,
I don't care.
All
All right, give me a second. This is now a homicide investigation.
Who's that?
I don't know yet.
You know, please.
No, I really don't. I don't. I really don't. I don't know the name of who's dead yet. But look at me, Alexandra. Look, do you go by Allie?
Yes.
Allie, I need you to take. You need to take this very seriously. I'm not saying anything, but someone was murdered in your front yard.
Don't say that. I didn't go outside to make sure they were okay. I didn't go outside to check on them. I didn't go to the next door neighbor's house and call 911. I didn't do any of that. I just stayed at my house.
Allie, I'm not saying that there's anything that you could have done to change tonight. The reason why I
We could
say
have just went to bed. I could have stayed with Celeste. We didn't have to go to my house. We didn't have to find anybody to hang out with. We didn't have to do any of that.
Allie, the reason why I say this is probably the most serious thing you've ever been involved in, right? Okay.
And I had my 16-year-old friend involved in it too because she was at my house.
I know. So understand, this isn't just going to be some quick thing, and you're going to get out of here. You're a witness in this, okay?
I don't want to be one.
But here's the deal. Let's say, and like I said, I don't know. Let's say Kolton's your friend, right? Or you've known him for a while. If he is the one that was killed, you owe it to him to tell us everything, right? And help us, right? Now, as soon as I find out, I will be straight with you. I'll tell you. I know there was multiple people in the truck. I know there's multiple people that were shot, and I know that there's one dead so far. The other one's in the hospital. It might be. Put it up here. It might be because of. Let me see.
That's the neighbor.
Okay. What's the neighbor?
His name is William Buckle.
That's who shot him?
What?
Is that what you said?
I said that's the neighbor.
Oh, I thought you were talking about for this whole thing.
No, the neighbor said, hey, did you hear the gunshots?
Oh, no, I don't care about that. So the neighbor's name is William Bulk. What is it?
Buckhalter.
Buckhalter. William. I know this shows that you're telling me the truth.
I have no reason to lie to
I know. So how about this? Is there any way I can print this out from my case file? And I'm gonna be honest with you here. I'm gonna put this right over here. This is where I'm coming from. If we don't go this route, I'm gonna have to get a search warrant through Facebook and all this stuff, and I'm gonna get everything anyway.
And you won't get a search warrant if you do this.
Well, I don't plan on it. Here, this is what I want to explain to you. Okay, hear me out. Thank you, but hear me out. Okay, we're all adults here. There isn't anything on here that I haven't seen before. I promise you that. Okay, there is none of this is going anywhere else but a case file.
I understand all that. I'm just fucking freaking out.
I know there's probably personal stuff on here that you don't want to get leaked out, but we got to think a little bit bigger than that right now because someone was
You can print that conversation.
Okay. You help me do this.
You have a
I don't
phone?
want to mess it up.
Do you have a phone?
I do not have a phone that where we can text it or anything.
You have to go back up to a previous conversation? Like you want the whole thing?
Yeah, the whole thing.
Where's your Microsoft?
Oh, you can't just print it from Facebook?
Facebook won't let you do that.
Really?
I don't think so, but I can copy, like I can do times, dates, names, pictures, and photos on here.
Can you pull it up to where it's just a big screen? Where it's just your conversation?
That's what
Then
this
I can
is.
print it out.
No, that's what this is.
If I hit Control P, it'll print this whole screen out. So that's why I say, oh, I see what you're saying though. The conversation is,
Yeah.
scroll.
I mean, you can get the one from just tonight, which is right here.
What are you gonna copy and paste everything?
I want some girl Kolton IDK. If you might be with or IDK if you might think so you with someone. I don't know if you might think so. Oh, is she cute? You might think so. You with somebody. I asked him if he was with somebody, and he said, yeah, too, and where you at. So he did answer me.
Okay.
He did answer me where he was at.
What time was that? It's got times and everything.
11, yeah.
Let's see if we can. If you have to
Like
put it.
this is where the conversation started, right? This was last night. This is where it started. Literally, what are you doing? He messaged me, what are you doing? I need your number. Who you with? Why? My own girl. She's cute. I called him and I was like, do you want to hang out? He's like, yeah, I have 2 friends with me. I said, I have. He didn't tell me on the phone. Yes, he did. He wouldn't tell me who they were. Sorry, a lot of things are mixed up.
That's all right. What were you going to do with Word? Just copy and paste all this and get all the times and stuff? Just do all that. I need everything. Everything.
Like our whole entire...
Yeah, everything. Like I said, I know there's personal stuff on there, but there may be something pertinent later on that you don't know about, and if it's not pertinent, it gets shredded. That's it. But we can't be selective, you know what I mean?
I know, I understand what you're saying. It just sucks, honestly. All of this. It's like upsetting that this was done at my house. It's upsetting that if they could be my friend.
If you need something, just come knock on this door, okay?
But I just kind of wanted you to know that these situations, 110% of every single one I've been here, and it's played out just like this situation. The same thing happened. Okay, the only thing that happened this time is it went farther than it normally would. Those people were not randomly there.
What do you mean in
The
my
people
situation?
This situation, the whole situation. All we're trying to find out is why those people are there and who they are. Okay, and our best shot is for you to tell us, because they did not pick that address randomly and happened to be there when
That
the
address
guys.
has been out for weeks.
What address?
That address, the power was turned off at the house and we were supposed to leave the house, but me and Celeste were there tonight just hanging out.
I understand that, but those guys did not show up there randomly.
I understand that.
So either you facilitated something or your friend did, but the bottom line is it didn't happen without your knowledge. So this is,
That would just happen in my yard with those people?
I don't think that you intended for what happened to happen. I'm saying those people that came there, you have some knowledge about who they are.
I don't. I swear to God, I don't. I would tell you if I don't. Or if I did.
Well, I mean, I think you'd be afraid at first because everybody would be, and nobody sits down and immediately tells us.
No, afraid was hearing gunshots go through my doors and my windows. That was afraid.
Okay, but now we're at this situation where we need to find out who they were, and the only people that's going to get to us is probably going to be you.
Me?
Or your friend, I don't know their girl's name yet. Celeste.
This is what I didn't want to happen. I'm being completely honest, and I told you this shit was gonna happen.
We're trying to figure it out, though, and think about it logically.
It could be anybody. You know how people are like, the shit that goes on at the house?
Okay, well, I'm not going to say nothing else. I'm going to let him talk to you.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, we're just trying to figure out who the people are.
Okay.
Allie, hear me out.
No, this is being blamed on me.
Well, no. No one's saying you pulled the trigger or anything like that. Not once have we said that.
Okay, but then what are you thinking? I set this up? Why would I set up somebody to be killed?
You tell me.
Do I look like that kind of person?
No, I don't think you say anybody has been killed.
I
But
feel like that's what you just...
Allie, hear me out.
I don't know the people. If I knew the people, I'd
Just
tell
listen
you.
to me. Just listen to me. I want you to. I'm gonna tell you the facts we have right now. I want you to hear me out. Okay. You and your girlfriend are hanging out at the house. Okay. This guy, y'all start talking on Facebook, and he comes over. A group of people confront this truck in your yard. Shots ring out, and someone gets killed. And who knows, maybe another person soon. I don't know. Depending on how it's going at the
So
hospital.
this goes down on me because it's my yard?
Well, think about this. If someone gets shot in my yard, of course I'm going to be held responsible to a certain extent. Now, am I going to be held responsible as far as being labeled a murderer or anything? Absolutely not. But what are the chances? What are the chances that just people you have no idea who they are decided to sit on your house and by chance wait for this truck to pull up to rob them? That doesn't happen.
No.
It doesn't happen, and you know it. You've already said that.
I said
That
that.
stuff doesn't happen. So here, this is what I
But
want
either
you to
does
know.
last weekend when people were attacking somebody's car too. That doesn't happen either.
Do what? Last weekend when somebody
That was
was...
being just...
Okay. So here's what you got to decide.
I'm aware that the house was a dangerous place to be. I'm aware that there were people threatening. But did I think anybody was going to do anything? No.
Okay. Well, who was threatening then?
Nobody does.
Allie, look at me. Allie, here's the deal. We're at a point now where you're protecting somebody who killed someone.
No, I'm not. I don't know who pulled the trigger.
You're
I don't
holding
know
back.
those people.
You just held back on me.
No.
You just held back on me. I don't know why you're protecting a murderer.
I'm not. Now I'm being defensive because I feel like now everybody's blaming this on me. And I literally was just trying to hang out with a fucking...
Okay, but hear me out. Regardless of what your intentions were, a bad thing happened that you set up, hey, come over here, this is my address, come hang out, or we'll leave from here.
If that was gonna happen, why the hell would I give them my direct address? Why? Why wouldn't I give them the address next door? I'm smarter than that. If I was gonna set that up, it wouldn't have happened like that. Dead or not dead, it wouldn't have happened like that. And I went in and did it in my yard. I wouldn't have did it in my yard. I wouldn't let anybody do anything in my yard like that ever. Why would I do that? I would be sitting right here. Why would I tell you?
I agree with you. The problem is something you just told me, is that you knew it was a dangerous place, there were threats made, but you didn't think anything would happen like that.
No, I didn't.
You just told me.
But I don't think that this has anything to do with that. I don't know what this has to do with. I don't know anything anymore.
But you realize that information might be the reason for this whole thing. Maybe I don't know that anybody had the intent to kill anyone tonight. Maybe they just came up to beat somebody's ass, to jump them, and shit got crazy. I don't know.
This kid said he wasn't gonna do anything to hurt anybody at the house or me or anything, but because he came to a party and something happened to him, that And it was at that house that I was supposed to be responsible for it. And he told me personally that he wasn't mad at me and that nothing was gonna happen. And I believed him, and 2 weeks went by and nothing happened. I wasn't there. I was at my friend's house for a couple of days because of this. Came back, nothing happened. His Nana turned the power off. Jordan got the power turned back on. I came there with Celeste after we babysat, and it could have been anybody that actually came through on Facebook tonight. Anybody. It didn't have to be Colton. It could have been anybody that I was like, hey, do you want to chill? Anybody that could have came to my house. That could have happened to them.
Why?
What do you mean, why? Because people are nasty. People do mean things. When you do drugs and you're around people who do drugs, they don't give a fuck.
But Allie, why would people be sitting around your yard waiting for somebody to pull up?
Because they, I don't know.
That doesn't make sense. And I'll agree with you. A lot of these drug things, they don't make sense. You're right. But this is...
I don't know every part to every single story to sit here and tell you everything that's going on. It could be relevant, it could be irrelevant.
So let me decide whether it's relevant or irrelevant.
No, because I'm the one that's going to be thrown through the mud for this, not you.
What? Who's going to throw you through what?
Who was it? Who did this?
You're willing to take a chance that you're going to cover up for a murder. You're willing to take that chance.
What? I'm not covering up for no murder. I didn't do anything.
You need to tell me what happened 2 weeks ago or whatever and who it involved.
I don't know everybody's names, last names, first names. I don't know.
Well,
there was a lot of people at my house. We had a party. Some shit went down. Some guns were pulled out.
What is some shit? I don't know.
I wasn't outside. Neither, and Celeste wasn't there either.
Okay, but you've heard. Give me the story.
Yes,
that
the name is Jared Wells. Jared Wells was the person that got fucking fucked up. He pulled out the gun at the house and he said shit, and then I was with him like 2 days ago and he was fine. He was like, or not 2 days ago, like what's today? Saturday?
Yeah.
And he was like, well, my people are coming to that house and they're gonna fucking blow shit up and blah 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 blah. And I was like, please don't send me to the house. I have nothing to do with this. Don't do that. We're not. He told me that they weren't gonna do anything, so that's irrelevant. But
okay, and listen. I might be able to once we look at everything, we might be able to just count this whole thing out and say, yep, that is irrelevant.
But if it's not, then
yeah,
I threw names out there that didn't even belong in this. I don't want to be in this anymore.
Are you serious, Allie? Are you serious? Now, did Jared have issues with Colton? Was Colton there?
No.
Who did Jared Wells have problems with?
I don't know who did. I told Jared the same thing. I don't know who did that shit to Jared. I don't know what went down. I don't know any of that.
Did he get beat up?
I think he got jumped. I don't know. Okay. I think he got jumped. I think he got robbed. Somebody said, there was a bunch of things said. I don't know a straight answer to be telling you the complete truth.
Just tell me what the rumors are.
All those things.
Okay, so that Jared was robbed and that he was jumped. What was he robbed
Arrested.
of? He was arrested?
Apparently he was arrested.
At your house?
No, at some other house. This is just so really long.
Okay, well here, let's do this. I think it's fair. I think it would be fair to whoever was killed tonight that we go through this story.
Okay. We were at Jordan threw a party at the house.
At your house?
Yes, and Jared was robbed of like a whole bag full of drugs.
Okay.
And apparently they gave it back. I don't know that information.
Okay.
And apparently they didn't get anything, but because they attempted to, Jared said that they were gonna do shit to the house. Like, they said they weren't doing anything extreme, and then they were gonna shoot up the house, but they weren't gonna hurt anybody, and they weren't gonna do it while anybody was home, and they were gonna shoot up vehicles. And I told him that there was no vehicles there that were worth even shooting up, and he said, okay, well, my people are gonna handle this, not me. As in people, I don't know who he's talking about. I literally met this kid last weekend. I don't know him from Adam, like, at all.
Are you friends with him on Facebook?
Yeah.
Is he from Clay County?
I don't know where he's from.
Is he a Playboy, Duval?
I never have seen this kid, met this kid.
How did y'all meet last weekend? Was it at a party? I mean, how did it get to the point where he says, I'm going to throw a party at your house?
Who?
Jared.
Jared didn't throw a party at my house. Jordan threw a party at our
Jordan.
house.
Okay, yeah, your roommate. I'm sorry, I got Jared and Jordan confused. So Jared came to Jordan's party.
4th of July night. I'm pretty sure that's the night that it was.
Okay.
It wasn't really a party because his Nana shut it down.
Okay. Do you know if the sheriff's office was called or anything this night? I mean, for all this drama?
No.
Were you there? Inside, but...
Inside. Well, I was talking to his Nana in the front yard.
Okay. So, how when you were there, how did it come out that, obviously, I'm assuming you saw Jared and he had injuries or whatever? No?
No. I don't know what happened. And Jared pulled the gun.
Jared did pull a gun? Who did he pull a gun on?
I don't know. I don't know who he pulled the gun on. I don't know anything about that situation. I just know rumors. I know that it happened there because he said that. That's it.
Okay. This is a group
If I knew who it was, do you honestly think I'd tell you?
I think if you do know who it is, you're afraid to tell me. Because I think you're afraid for your life.
Don't answer my question with a question and switch it.
That's what you're doing. When I asked you, what did you just say? You just said, why would I set up a robbery? You're answering my questions with questions.
I didn't.
So, yeah.
I'm not meaning to do
so
it
if
like
you're going to
that.
play games, I'm going to play games too.
That's not how I'm meaning to do it.
So let's cut through all this bullcrap.
I want you to believe me. I want them all to believe me. I want Colton's parents to believe
So
me.
then here, Allie, tell me the truth. If you're in over your head and you invited somebody over or you set up a stupid
I am in
rip
over my
that
head,
went
but
bad.
I didn't set up any robbery and have anybody killed.
I'm not talking, I know you didn't have anybody killed.
Or set up a robbery, or set up anybody to get hurt or anything, or set up anybody to take anybody's drugs.
Did you or Celeste tell anyone else that Colton and his boys were coming over?
No. And even when we made those plans with Colton, we lied to Celeste's mom. I mean, halfway lied. We told her we were going to ride dirt roads and that we weren't coming to hang out with her.
So you...
Why would I end why? I just don't get why. I
I
understand why you're asking all these questions. It's my house and somebody was killed.
I mean, who else am I going to ask, right? Who else do I have to talk to? You are the best, you and the other person that's here are the best chance we have of getting the person that killed, and it sounds like Colton, the best person that killed Colton, behind bars. It's you. You and whoever else we can get in here.
Because I feel like nobody believes me, and that's why I'm crying. Because no matter how I make myself look, or no matter what I say, it's going to be what the evidence says and what he or she says against or not against.
Okay.
It's the evidence.
Then why was Celeste?
She said that me and Jordan set this up.
Yeah.
That's really what she said.
Yes, no games, no tricks, and that's what I'm saying here, telling you, Allie, you didn't set up a murder, okay? You set up a stupid ass drug rip that went bad. That part that went bad is not on you. If you continue to lie, there's a good chance it's going to stick to you.
Okay, so you say that you're not just pulling my freaking.
This is no games, Allie. This is no games. I'm not lying to you. This is serious.
Okay, so.
And you're a good person, and I don't want to see you go down for something stupid. So
Okay,
just tell me the truth.
But either way, even if she said that and it's true, I go to jail. Right?
No, not necessarily.
Not necessarily.
Did you pull a trigger?
No! No, why would I kill somebody?
Exactly. So let's cut this out. You didn't pull a trigger. Okay, you made some mistakes, but let's own up to them. Someone died. This is bigger than just some... You're worried about little petty shit.
I'm not worried about petty stuff. I don't think this is
Allie,
petty.
you're worried about telling me the truth on whether you set up a stupid-ass drug
I
ring.
didn't set it up.
Or that you were involved in setting
My
it up.
name is under it.
Your name is under what?
Under all of this.
Allie, it's time to just tell me your involvement in this. I don't think you pulled the trigger. I believe you 100%. There was no intention to hurt anybody. The problem is somebody got hurt. Okay? So let's just get this out. Let's get this part out. I can see it on you. You're just wanting to tell me you're just afraid of going in trouble, of being in trouble. But listen, this is a real situation.
I want to go home. I don't want to go to jail.
What do you think your best options are to go home. You think it's to continue to sit here and feed me a bunch of BS, or you think it's to be like, hey, listen, I'll own up to this little stupid ass thing I set up, but there was no intention for any of this to happen. That's on someone else.
Today we're diving into a true crime case, and it's a really heavy one. It's the story of Kolton Shearer, this young man with so much potential, and he was betrayed and murdered.
Yeah.
We're going to be looking at an article called The Betrayal of Kolton Shearer to kind of try and figure out how these seemingly harmless online interactions can turn deadly.
Yeah. You know what's so disturbing about this case is that it preys on this like basic human need to connect with people and to trust.
Right.
And Kolton's story is just like a harsh reminder that, you know, the internet, while it's amazing in so many ways, it also offers anonymity to people with really, really bad intentions.
Yeah, for sure. And, you know, the article really paints this picture of Kolton as like this all-American kid, you know, college student, talented baseball player. Dreams of becoming an engineer, like just starting out his life.
And that's what makes this case so unsettling, you know?
Yeah.
Here's this young man full of promise, you know? And he receives this seemingly innocent message from this woman named Alexandra Schreffler inviting him to a party.
Okay.
But as we kind of like dig deeper, we learn that this invitation was anything but innocent.
So let's unpack this a little bit. What was actually going on behind the scenes?
Well, the article reveals that Schreffler was actually working with a group of men. Jordan Corman, Torian Johnson, and Ozell McNabb Jr. And they had targeted Kolton specifically, and they saw him as an easy target for robbery.
Wow, so this was premeditated. They were actually seeking someone out.
Exactly. They chose Kolton because they thought that he wouldn't put up much of a fight.
Right.
The article details how they believed they could just easily overpower him and steal whatever they wanted.
It's so chilling to me. This is where it gets chilling for me because, you know, he shows up at the house in Green Cove Springs with his friend David Lavo. Like, you imagine they're probably expecting just like a typical party music, people hanging out.
Yeah, totally. From the article's description, like, the house seemed totally normal. It was situated in just like a regular neighborhood. Nothing that would scream like danger, you know what I mean? Like no alarm bells or anything.
Yeah.
But the moment that Kolton and David stepped inside, the vibe totally changed.
Oh, wow. So you're saying things felt off immediately?
Immediately. The article describes the music being unusually quiet.
Okay.
The atmosphere was tense. And then, before Kolton or David can even react, the doors lock behind them.
Oh my gosh, at that point I would be freaking out. What happened next?
So the men that were in the house with Schreffler, men that Kolton and David had never met before, they immediately start demanding money and valuables.
I'm curious, what does the article say about Kolton's reaction to this? Like, he doesn't seem like the type to just give in easily.
No, you're right. He fought back, which is totally understandable.
Yeah.
I mean, he was caught off guard, confused, and likely angry.
Of course.
The article highlights that Kolton was a strong young man. He was not willing to be a passive victim.
And so this resistance is what ultimately led to the violence, unfortunately.
The article portrays Jordan Coleman as being particularly aggressive and impatient.
Okay.
He attacks Kolton, pushes him against the wall, and a fight breaks out.
Oh my gosh.
David tries to help Kolton, but they are completely outnumbered.
It's hard to even imagine the chaos and the terror that they must have felt in that moment. Being trapped, attacked. It's just awful.
Absolutely. And then as the struggle is happening, one of the men pulls out a gun. A shot is fired.
Oh no.
And Kolton is hit in the stomach. The article describes him staggering, clutching his wound before collapsing to the floor. It's just a truly horrific scene.
This is just heartbreaking. What happened to David? Did he survive?
Yes. Thankfully, David survives. He was shot in the leg, but he lived. However, the trauma of witnessing his friend's murder, that's a wound that may never truly heal.
It's hard to even fathom the panic and the chaos in that moment. But amidst all that, did the perpetrators manage to get away?
They did initially, yeah. They fled the scene.
Oh, wow.
Leaving Kolton and David bleeding on the floor. The article mentions this like frantic 911 call, but by the time emergency responders arrived, it was too late for Kolton.
It's just devastating to think about, you know, the first responders walking into that scene and the family receiving that news. Like, it's unimaginable. Did the article talk about the impact that this had on Kolton's family and the community?
Yeah, it did. The article describes the family's grief as just like palpable, like this overwhelming wave of sadness and anger. And Kolton's father spoke to reporters, his voice thick with emotion, and he was struggling to comprehend, how this could happen to his son. And his mother was photographed just like clutching Kolton's baseball glove.
Oh,
There's a symbol of his stolen future.
right.
It's incredibly moving, and you can just like feel the rawness of their pain through the words on the page.
Yeah, it's hard to even imagine the weight of that grief.
Yeah.
But amidst all this tragedy, did the police have any leads to go on? Like, how did they even begin to track down these people?
Well, it's interesting because the article points out that while these perpetrators were ruthless, they weren't exactly criminal masterminds.
Right.
And they left behind a significant digital trail.
So they weren't as careful as they thought they were being.
Not at all. Remember, it all started with Alexandra Schreffler's online messages to Kolton.
Right.
Those initial invitations, the entire setup, it was all documented.
Wow.
And the article goes on to explain that investigators were able to use IP addresses, social media activity, and text message records
Oh, wow.
to piece together their movements and their interactions leading up to the murder.
So basically they created a digital map leading right back to them. What happened next? Were they apprehended?
Absolutely. The investigation moved quickly. And within days, Alexandra was arrested.
Okay.
The article describes her initial attempts to feign ignorance, claiming that she had no idea things would escalate to violence.
Mm-hmm.
But the evidence, both digital and physical, was overwhelming.
And what about the men that were with her that night? Were they caught as well?
Yes, one by one, Jordan Coleman, Torian Johnson, and Ozell McNabb Jr. were all tracked down and apprehended. The article specifically mentions Johnson, the one who fired the fatal shot,
Right.
initially refusing to speak. McNabb attempted to shift the blame onto the others, but ultimately it didn't matter. They were all involved, all responsible for Kolton's death.
I can't imagine what the atmosphere in the courtroom must have been like during their sentencing. The weight of their actions finally catching up to them, the grief of Kolton's family.
The article describes the courtroom as being packed, overflowing with emotion. You can practically feel the tension and the heartbreak seeping from the pages. Alexandra was described as trembling, her initial confidence completely shattered.
Wow.
The men appeared defeated, their faces etched with a mix of remorse and fear.
So what were their sentences? Did they face justice for what they did?
They did. Alexandra received 15 years. Coleman received 25 years. Johnson received 30 years for pulling the trigger, and McNabb received 26 years. It was a harsh punishment.
Yeah.
But like we said earlier, no amount of time can truly bring Kolton back or erase the pain that they inflicted.
It's a tragic loss.
Yeah.
And even with justice, serve the pain for Kolton's loved ones is just unimaginable.
Yeah.
But did the community do anything to remember Kolton to honor his memory?
They did. Kolton's high school retired his baseball jersey, a poignant tribute to a life cut short. His teammates played their next game with his initials stitched onto their uniforms. Just a powerful visual reminder of his presence, the void left by his absence.
Yeah, it's just so powerful the way a community can rally around and support each other,
Yeah.
in times of tragedy like this. But
Yeah.
those gestures, while they're meaningful, can't erase the pain of losing someone so young and someone with so much potential.
What really struck me in the article was how Kolton was essentially betrayed by the very qualities that made him such a good person.
Right.
Like his trusting nature, his willingness to see the good in others, and that's what makes this case so difficult to process.
Yeah, it really makes you wonder how we can better educate young people about online safety without making them afraid to connect with others.
Yeah.
And to trust new people. Like, how do you find that balance?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? It's about finding that delicate balance between awareness and fear. We need to equip young people with the tools to navigate the digital world safely,
Right.
without instilling paranoia or making them afraid of every interaction.
Yeah, we can't shield them from everything, but we can certainly teach them to be more discerning,
Yeah.
to recognize those red flags, to trust their gut instincts when something feels off.
Exactly. If something feels wrong, it probably is. It's so important to encourage open communication,
Right.
to create an environment where young people feel comfortable talking to trusted adults about their online experiences, both the good and the bad.
Yeah, and maybe Kolton's story, as tragic as it is, can serve as a catalyst for those conversations. A reminder that we need to be vigilant both for ourselves and for those that we care about.
That's my hope. You know, if even one person learns from this tragedy and takes steps to protect themselves online,
Right.
then maybe some good can come from this unimaginable loss.
It's a heavy topic, but one that's so incredibly important to discuss, especially in a world where our lives are so intertwined with the online world.
Yeah, this deep dive has been a stark reminder of the importance of online safety and the devastating consequences that can occur when trust is violated.
You know, as we wrap up, I keep coming back to that image of Kolton's mom holding his baseball glove, and it's just such a powerful symbol of his stolen future.
Right.
But also a reminder that we can honor his memory by learning from this tragedy and working to create a safer online environment for everyone.
And to you, our listener, we leave you with this. How can we better educate and empower young people to navigate the digital world safely while still fostering a sense of connection and community? It's a question worth pondering and one that demands our attention.